Welcome to Politics Done Right on KPFT. I am your host, Egberto Williams. This is the progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. Give me a call at 713-526-5738. That is 713-526-KPFT. Remember, you can also send me a tweet to EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Williams. Let us engage. It is politics done right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Williams, your host. Thank you so kindly for spending this 1 hour with us. We are going to have a great show today. Shannon, how art thou doing?
I'm doing great, Egberto. Great to be here with you for another Thursday.
Another Thursday. Are we going to have a great show or what?
You better believe it.
You know what? Guess what? I'm getting all ready with the show and getting all the guests together and all that kind of stuff and learning about some of the stuff that I need to talk about. And guess what I forgot?
Huh.
To bring the darn show up on my pad.
It happens.
It happens, but you know, it's because I'm getting younger. But you
Stop
know,
blaming it on age, Egberto.
I need to stop that, right? I'm kind of getting an addiction.
But of course, there's so much going on here. It's really, the place is alive. This house is alive during Fund Drive. There's so many volunteers out there taking pledges.
Yes.
Teresa Alice standing by there in Pledge Central. And
I just took a promise, really nice gift from Katie. What's his first name?
Robert.
What's his first name?
Robert Katie. Is that so? Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Just got a $100 gift from Katie, a new member.
Well, thank
for
you.
Democracy Now!, which was really nice. And there's another call on the line. Is that for Democracy Now!?
Oh, wait, you mean that wasn't for Politics Done Right?
No.
We finally got somebody to thank. We didn't completely drown for Democracy Now!
Well, you know, come on. When she said the first one, I'm saying, oh, my greatness on the first second of Politics Done Right.
Well, they're just priming the pumps for us.
Yeah.
Well, I want to remind people that they should go to 90.1 FM KPFT Radio's Facebook page and like it and share it. There's a wonderful picture of both of you right there on that Facebook page. You have a $750 goal today, and if you hit that goal, two people, Kurt and Terry, are going to give $200 to KPFT if you hit your goal. So if everybody works together, then you will hit that goal. And I want to tell you here, Tony has just given $50 to Democracy Now!, and he's a professor. So thank you.
Thank you. That makes me feel a lot better about last hour. So I appreciate that support immensely.
That is great for the last hour. We're about to start this new hour.
I know, I think we have Kathy already to thank for this hour.
Well, tell us about Kathy.
Right. Well, she's been donating for years, and I think this is her first time to donate online. She went for the KPFT tote bag. So thank you, Kathy, for donating online.
Thank you so kindly, Kathy. That's a good start, folks, and let's start with a bang. Let's not do it like last week when we waited till the end to get started. So let's do it now. Call 713-526-5738. I got 713-526-5738. Were you saying something?
So I hear the phone ring.
I love that. I love that.
Get the phone. So we have $50 out of the $750, and everybody just needs to pull together.
Absolutely.
And you can tell your friends just by going to Facebook right now, going to the 90.1 FM page.
KPFT.org. If you go to KPFT.org, you can hit the donate button. There's a button there for you to donate to the show, and we will get it and show it online right away, and we will be able to thank you right away. But folks, remember this, as Teresa just said, there is a matching offer. You go ahead and get us to $750, and there's another $200 coming in. So we need to let those donors part with their money. So let's go 713-526-5738. But Shannon, we are going to have a great show today. We are not only asking for money. We are not just saying, hey, folks, give now. We have some great people in the studio.
That's right.
Progressives that are going to tell you what progressives must do if we are going to, what again?
Win.
What again?
Win.
All right, that's what we're going to talk about. So anyway, folks, the title of the show today, do you want a progressive America? Vote for progressives in the primaries. America is not a center-right country. It is governed by a right-wing sect and run by center-right ideologues. America is a progressive country, folks. America is a progressive country based on the value set people by large majorities. So remember that. And you know what I made a mistake and just did? We went into the blog of the week, which is not what I'm going to do yet. What I wanted to say is as follows, and it goes like this. Every 2-year election cycle, progressives complain about their choices of candidates. Many groups are now doing something about it. One of these groups is brand new Congress, and you guys were explaining to me another group called Justice Democrats as well that's working on these particular issues, and we'll talk about that later. And the group has several candidates running in the Democratic primaries in the Houston area and throughout the country. Today, we are honored to have several of these candidates with us. We have, of course, Adrienne Bell, who KPFT listeners should be very familiar with because she gave us a great interview at Netroots Nation in Georgia, Atlanta earlier this year, and we actually played it on air live. And again, we had another time that we gave you the time to tell what these views are. But anyhow, she's a native Houstonian, a mother, a grandmother. You're a grandmother?
Yes, I am.
You see, Adrienne, you haven't a clue that she could possibly be a grandmother who rose from humble beginnings to become her family's first-generation college graduate. She went on to obtain a master's degree and is currently pursuing a Ph.D. in education. She's running in Texas District 14. I don't know how you have the time to do all of that, Adrienne.
Well, I do. I can't do it because I have to do it. It is so important.
And I love to hear that. You know what? Because a lot of people make excuses why we can't move this country forward. If we stepped out of our comfort zone and did what we needed to do,
right,
things would get done.
Exactly.
Thank you so kindly. And of course, we have Darnell Jones, a retired naval officer with 24 years of service, who says he will vote for jobs, education, equity, and equality for all the citizens. You heard what he said? Equality for all the citizens. Not some sect, not some group, but every single person in District 2, meaning Ted Poe's district. And of course, Ted Poe, remember you've been invited to be on my show as well. I haven't heard from you. But anyhow, he is going to do what is necessary to get what?
Elected, and we're going to win.
And you're going to win. Okay. We were supposed to have another candidate, Letitia Plummer. We don't exactly know why she didn't make it in, but Letitia, I wish you luck in TX22. Anyhow, remember, folks, that we are in Fund Drive, so please call 713-526-5738 or visit kpft.org now to keep our progressive radio station on air. The right invest in their sources of misinformation. So please, progressives, please.
And we are 1/3 of the way. Bruce Pollard just called in and got the jump drive for $200.
Oh, Bruce Pollard, thank you so kindly.
And that is a very nice gift.
Yes, tell us a little bit about that jump drive so that our audience can know about it, and maybe some more will call in, and then I'll finish bringing in our intro here.
It's called Voices That Change the World. It's 1,350 hours of history. I can just imagine people at the gym.
Yes.
Somehow hooked up and listening to, they've got Noam Chomsky, Studs Terkel. They've got a lot of history. They've got women's studies, arts and literature.
They have Malcolm X.
They've got Ginsberg's The Howl. They've got Henry Miller, Jim Morrison, the Coltrane Legacy. They've got the Malcolm X collection. Lots of letters in politics with Karen Armstrong, for example. Blaise Fontaine, Sandra Blair, Barn Ehrman.
Just about everybody.
And the list goes on
and on and on and on and on. So look,
it's a very nice gift for schools, for example.
Absolutely.
To be able to check that out of the library and just.
I like what you just said. That is very true. It's a very good gift for schools. But let's. Anybody else on the phone right now?
No one on the phone right now. I do want to say one other thing.
Go ahead.
We have a marvelous topical folk singer. Mm-hmm. His name is Charlie King, and we have at least 5 pairs of tickets to see that show. It's in the Woodlands. It's very close to Woodlands Parkway and I-45. It's worth the drive. He is. I mean, practically every song is like a story,
Right.
a story of someone that took a stand, made a difference. It just really makes history come alive. He also does a little political satire, has a great sense of humor. So if you're free this Saturday night, we would love to have you come. You'll be among like-minded people, I think. Diverse but like-minded in that it's social justice oriented. He does the history of the labor movement in song, history of civil rights. So you can get your real money's worth for a $100 pledge. You can get 2 tickets to that and make a nice gift to KPFT.
There you go. Teresa just said the word. And thank you for that call that's coming in. But anyway, let me continue with the introduction. Remember that we are in Fund Drive, so please call 713-526-5738 or visit kpft.org now to keep our progressive radio on air. The right invests in their sources of misinformation. Please, progressives, invest in sources of real information like KPFT, the Daily Kos, and other liberal sources of information. Let's liberate America's minds by removing them from their misinformation chains of bondage. Before I get to the program, I want to remind all our listeners that KPFT is a bastion of intelligent voices and programs. As a political activist myself, my favorites are The Monitor with
Mark Babawi. That is every Monday at 7 p.m.
And of course, we have Think Wing Radio with
Mike Honig, also on Mondays, but at 9 p.m.
And then there's Partisan Gridlock with
Jeff Berg. That's every Friday at 3
you do
p.m.
that show as well.
Oh, yes. It's so much fun.
Absolutely. And we have Open Journal with
That's it used to be Marlo Blue, but
Right.
Dwayne Bradley, and we have Sherry McGinty, and we have Neil Colbreth.
Absolutely. And then we have Jazz Latino, Afro-Cuban Latin Jazz, at its very best, hosted by my good old buddy
Juan Flores. He does that on Wednesdays from noon till 2 p.m.
Now, folks, check out, I couldn't forget this, with Brother Don in there, The Human Condition at 3 p.m., followed by The Free Minstrel Show with Don and Dwayne at 4 p.m. on Fridays and on KPFT's HD3 side. And he has another program. Tell us a little bit of that real quickly.
That is Really But Not Really, Thursday nights at 10 o'clock.
All right.
Fake hip-hop and R&B improv show.
There you go, folks. Anyhow, this is KPFT 90.1 FM Houston. We want to hear your voice. We want to hear your thoughts. This is Politics Done Right. Go ahead and hashtag us, Politics Done Right, and Twitter, Egberto Willies. You can listen to the live stream or listen to the podcast. Folks, call 713-526-5738. And let's get to the blog of the week quickly so we can get to our great candidates right here. So go ahead and let's start that.
It's time for the weekly blog post.
Okay, folks. And you kind of heard the first paragraph of it, but we're going to do it again. Do you want a progressive America? Vote for progressives in the primaries. America is not a center-right country. It is governed by a right-wing sect and run by center-right ideologues. America is a progressive country based on the values set people by large majorities or pluralities. So why is it that we do not see a government that reflects the people? The answer is simple. Americans have been irresponsible with their votes. The plutocracy introduced this irresponsibility. They have successfully made most Americans believe that their votes do not matter because they really cannot change anything beyond the options given within 2 rails, the establishment Democrats on the left and the establishment Republicans on the right. The Tea Party taught us that that paradigm was not unbreakable. They are still in control of the Republican Party, while ineffectual because their ideology is a mathematical and societal impossibility. That is a reality progressives need not fear if they organize and behave cohesively. It is becoming clear that progressives are starting to see the light. The indivisible movement is using some of the positive techniques used by the right for some time with much success. The difference is that because progressivism is inherently fact-based, while right-wing policies are generally anathema to history and facts, an elected progressive majority can accomplish middle-class-centric policies the country is yearning for in the near term. Several organizations, including Our Revolution and Brand New Congress and also Justice Democrats and others, are seeding America in local and national elections with progressive candidates. They're seeding them all over the place. And note, the key word is progressive. and not Democratic or Republican. A progressive revolution will require the support of both parties until the day we do away with parties altogether or increase the number of functional parties. America is governed by the right because of a process that began with the inception of the Powell Manifesto. While progressives were asleep basking in their many victories, the plutocracy began its infiltration in all aspects of government, education, media, and more. Control of the media allowed them to create the false reality of what is best for Americans, infiltrating the schools and creation of think tanks that mislead allowed them to give their ideology the semblance of fact-based viability. Infiltrating the government allowed them to codify their plutocracy-building ideology into law. And that is what we have to mitigate. That's what these candidates mitigate. All of this can be reversed, but just like it took time to build, it will take time to destroy and rebuild with a progressive core. Americans must do their part. It is not enough to vote for a lesser of two evils. Progressives must do their civic duty. They must run for offices, from city council to municipal government, from school board to water board, from state congress to national congress, from state senate to national senate. Most importantly, Americans must vote in the primaries where the plutocracy fields its acceptable candidates. You see, both parties try to stuff establishment characters which ultimately are acceptable to the establishment. Remember who the establishment is. It's not Democrat or Republican. It's the establishment. Okay? The disruption that must occur in the primaries so Americans have real progressive choices in the general election. Progressives, you have much work to do. So when do we start? When do we start?
Now.
Right now.
When do we start?
Now.
Right now.
Absolutely now is when we start, folks. Folks, look, give us a call, 713-526-5738. I am honored. I am very honored once again to have my good friends. I have to say my good friends in-house. How are you guys doing today?
Excellent. I am so excited about the blog that you just read. That inspired me about what progressives need to do and why they need to do it.
Now, that is Adrienne Bell. Adrienne, I saw you in at one of the conferences, what I call the most important conference in this country, because it is where all progressives get together.
Right.
In this country and meet in Atlanta. Tell me, first of all, what did you learn out there? And secondly, tell us what you represent for your district and what you intend to do for your district.
Okay. Well, when we were at Netroots Nation, it was a conglomeration of all progressives, and that was just beautiful to see. It was such a diverse crowd, and we were all progressives. We were all on one accord. So, everyone was in agreement of what progressives could do. There was such excitement in the air of just having so many progressives around. What I bring to District 14 is hope. We have a district that just got really hard hit by the hurricane that had very little representation.
If I may interrupt you a second here, not to mess with your flow, but what I was very impressed on is you are very social media active, and you were going around your district showing things that needed to get done. You were going through your district admonishing the governor to actually open up some monies to bring into our area. And
right.
Guess what? With your voice and the voices of many others, what did the governor do?
He gave a little extra money.
He gave a little extra money. Continue. I just wanted to let folks know that progressives don't have to wait till they're elected to actually be part of the solution. Adrienne Bell actually went out there and she made her videos. She made herself heard. Don't think that there aren't those counters out there that are looking to see how much out there is being said about what needs to be done.
Right, right.
Continue, please.
Well, one thing I want to bring on say is hope, because we have a district. One of the residents I talked to just a few weeks ago, and he was so discouraged. Really, after the hurricane, they didn't get much help, and this was in Port Arthur. And he said, they just don't pay us any attention. They don't know who the U.S. rep is, and they really just feel left out. So I could tell him, what you have in me is someone who will be here for you. I won't run from you. I won't hide from you, because you see, I'm out here right now seeking to help and seeking to serve. So what I want to bring is new vision, new ideas, new face, new breath to those areas that are in District 14 that have been neglected.
Now, what you mentioned Port Arthur. Where else that people are cognizant of that's a part of your district?
It's Jefferson County, which includes all of the areas of Beaumont and Port Arthur, from Beaumont to Port Arthur and Nederland, the areas in between. It's also Southern Brazoria County, which starts at Rochelle and goes all the way to Freeport, and the entire Galveston County.
That's a huge district.
It's very gerrymandered.
So have you been running around that district all over, making yourself known, or?
Yes, I have.
Because that is a huge district and a lot of area to cover, and it seems to me like it's going to take quite a bit of resources to get through your entire area. Is that correct?
Yes, it does.
And how is that coming along right now? I mean, are you starting to do what's necessary to raise the funds that you need to get elected?
Well, we were doing better before Hurricane Harvey hit. Hurricane Harvey took away all of our field events. You can't ask someone for money when you see all their personal belongings sitting on the sidewalk. So it put a damper in our fundraising, and I want to come back and revisit about that and talk about money and corruption in politics.
That's a good thing later on.
Yeah, I want to talk about that part. But, it's starting to pick back up. But bail2018.com, you can donate to bail2018.com. And we don't take any PAC money. We take no special interest money. So all of the funds for the campaigns come from the people. So we are powered by the people, and we will not be bossed except by the people.
People-powered power. People-powered, I like that. People-powered power.
People-powered movement.
People-powered movement. Progress. Now, Senor Darnell Jones, I'll be frank with you. When you came into the fold, there was some other people that I noticed had taken on TXO2. I mean, it kind of surprised me because TXO2, nobody goes into it, and now TXO2 is loaded. Yeah. What brought you into TXO2?
Well,
first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you chose TXO2.
So, having interest in Texas too, first of all, living there, and when you invest in a place, you want to make sure that it is taken care of. But for the last 5 years before I retired from the Navy last year, I actually served as the Southwest Regional Science and Technology Outreach Officer for the Navy. So I worked at a lot of the schools in the area with underserved youth who needed to be introduced into robotics, specifically underwater robotics, which is what I did. But the reason I wanted to do that was because I know that there are kids like me, because I grew up in that same situation, that didn't have the resources to get a jump start. And it's so important to do that. So then I started to meet people, adults, who would say the same thing. Since you are such an advocate for working with our youth, and we've seen what you can do for them, why don't you put your hands into politics? So, and again, having interest in more than one place in the Houston area, I actually have a place down in Pearland also, so I ran for city council over there. Right. And when I ran for city council, I did it on an unapologetically progressive platform.
That's what we want more progressives to do.
And when I did that, I was told by some people who were running in my same party, in the Democratic Party, that they thought I shouldn't take that approach because I would upset some folks, or because they felt like it was negative or whatever. But the way I look at it is, you call a spade a spade. It doesn't matter who it is. You call a spade a spade. And so if I saw, for instance, that there was something going on that was really bad for the people that I'm choosing to represent, then it is my duty as a leader to speak up for that bad thing. And
absolutely
bring it forward.
So, yes.
And so I was actually pretty successful, because with only 2.5 months of campaigning, I was able to pull 47% of the vote.
Oh, was 47? Wow.
47% of the vote, yes. So with that said, it lets me know that I can run a political campaign, that I can show that I'm interested in the people, and I can show that I'm interested in progress. So,
well, that is good. Now, tell me, how do you feel? TXO2 has been solidly Republican for a long time. However, if you look at the demographic layout of TXO2, it seems as if that may be more fictional than true if people got out to vote. What are you, and then I'm going to guess the same thing to Adrienne, what are you doing to encourage your base to really come out? In other words, your base being middle class, real middle class America.
That's right. Well, First of all, I'm a data-driven person.
Right.
So I listen to those things, and I think it's more so propaganda that people hear. You know, this is such a red area, or so to speak. They said the same thing about Pearland.
Right.
And I think the only thing that kept me from winning in Pearland was the fact that no one knew me in Pearland. So I plan to do some things differently this time. What I did was I researched the district, and I know now that one of the areas of the district, which is the FM 1960 corridor, is one of the fastest growing areas in the state, and it's fast growing with progressives and young folks, and it's fast growing with people who have found it too expensive to live in the city, so they've moved out to that area. So all the gerrymandering in the world can't keep people from having a voice.
Now, how are you reaching your base? Because I think with the people that you're covering, maybe a bit less progressives than that Darnell is reaching. Is that correct?
I wouldn't say less progressive. It's a different set. It may not be the true middle class. There are some pockets that are the lower socioeconomic level. And so my area has a lot of people of color that have not been voting, or that voted and came out with President Obama but did not come back out and vote in 2016. And so it's going to rejuvenate the people that have not been voting to come out and vote, and get them excited about having a candidate that they could actually touch and feel and talk to and get excited about. So I've been out campaigning since the summer, and especially like in Jefferson County, and spending a lot of time getting to know a lot of people, because that's a Democratic county.
Now, relative to the blog piece that I wrote, I spoke about, and I pointed to a link that actually tells exactly what Elizabeth Warren had to say about the wants of people. Now, if you forget about you being, I don't know whether you're really Democrats or what kind of Democrats you are, just progressives. I like to talk about progressives, and the reason I'm saying that is, if you take a look at the values of people, I don't care, even in red Kingwood or red somewhere else, and you ask the value proposition, it always ends up that if you tack that against the right-wing proposals and the left-wing proposals, I shouldn't say, progressive proposals, it seems like it is more in tune with what people want. So how do you intend to get that the liberal or the progressive letter off of you in these areas that you're going to need to do it by more getting people engaged on the issues you support and getting down to their level, as Rykoff would say, make it a bread and butter issue for each of those people that you're trying to earn their vote, who would have otherwise, in your case, voted for Ted Poe, and in your case,
it's Randy Weber.
Weber.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned Kingwood, because that's actually where I started my campaign. I began my campaign in Kingwood because I'd heard it is the most red area. And one of the things I don't like to do when I'm talking to a group of future constituents is talking R or D.
I think that's what I was alluding to,
so I speak issues because the one thing I don't want to do is bring a toxic conversation from the beginning. So when you do speak about issues, you find out that you have more in common than you don't.
Exactly.
And that's what I've been doing. So people in Kingwood actually have been hosting house parties for me, small gatherings where they'll invite their neighbors, and I tell them it doesn't matter whether they're Republicans or Democrats. It doesn't matter at all. Invite them over. Let's have a conversation, because at the end of the day, when I win, I support and represent them also.
I think that is a great concept, right? And it's also important to let them, there's one thing I tell progressives all the time to tell their people, and that is, when you're out there, remind them that number one, when they go, because peer pressure is a big thing in this country, and people would vote against their interests simply because of peer pressure. I think we ought to always remind them that when they go into that voting booth, the vote is between themselves, their God, and the machine. Nobody else knows what it is. So vote their interests, and our elections would turn out a whole lot differently. And the other thing that I tell people is that party affiliation a lot of times is a cultural thing. So it has nothing to do with how you vote. You can be a Republican all you like and vote for a progressive if the values that they are espousing is actually the values that's going to support you, your family, your county, your city, and whatever. So what would you say to that?
Well, one thing that we do in the campaign is just talk about issues, and the issues that are important to the people, not the issues that I think are important. So I've been going out talking to people because I want to know what's important to you. Because I know at the end of the day, all we want to do is take care of our families.
Right.
And that's regardless if you're a Republican, you're a Democrat, you're independent, you're libertarian, it doesn't matter. We want to take care of our families. So in order to take care of our families, we need good jobs. We need clean drinking water. We need to have health care that takes care of us. So we all have the same issues, but we allow ourselves to be divided by labels.
Right.
And I'm not for being labeled. I'm for the people and what it is that the people need to take care of their families.
Well, we are going to explore that a little deeper after we do a little bit of pitching here for some dinero, some money, some plata.
Yes. We understand that.
Okay.
I know, right?
So, folks, please remember, give us a call now at 713-526-5738. Teresa, do you have anything to tell me?
I sure do. We have John who called in, and he said, send that thumb drive right away. He pledged $200.
All right.
And he is a renewing member, and we thank you so much, John.
Thank you, John.
Yeah. So I hope we can send it right away for him because he put it on the card.
The magic plastic.
And it should be good. And we'll know very soon whether it's accepted. So again, people, so now we have, that means out of the $750 goal, we have $350 to go.
Okay, folks, you can do it.
It's definitely doable.
You can do it. We have half hour to do that. We've raised a little over half of our monies, but we need you to call in right now at 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Shannon, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the Politics Done Right specific offers?
Well, we have quite a few out there, actually. We, of course, have your T-shirt.
Yes.
That Patrick designed. We're selling that at the $90 pledge level. We have all different sizes, so claim yours and we'll send it your way. We also have your book. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
As I see it, Class Warfare, the only solution to right-wing doom. That book is, let me tell you something. I wrote that book sitting down in a Starbucks after being extremely upset during the healthcare debate. And I went ahead and got the facts and laid out the whole American system from banking to patents to everything. The idea to show people how the plutocracy was screwing us all. And what this book does is it goes ahead and it gives anybody, whether you know politics or not, it empowers you to say, hey, if I read this book, by the time I'm done reading this book, I'm going to know what this system has been doing for us. And I am going to be knowing why it is that now more than ever progressive values matter. So 713-526-5738. Folks, it's worth having. Give us a call.
And of course, we're also offering the Resistance Handbook at the same pledge level. That's 45 ways to stop Trump. We're offering that for a pledge of $120. We'll send that your way. We can break that up into $10 per month, and that way you're supporting KPFT all year long.
Absolutely.
Just a little bit each month. So that's little doses that you enjoy KPFT, and we're giving back to each other.
Absolutely. 713-526-5738. And last week people were saying, Egberto, you speak too fast with that telephone number, so I'm going to slow it down real slow.
713-526-5738.
Come on, folks, give us a call. 713-526-5738. Let me tell you something. We complain a whole lot, right? I mean, we are currently in the hands of a recalcitrant government, a belligerent government, a government that could take us to war, a government that has declared war on the middle class, a government that has declared war on the poor. And we sit down and some of us feel helpless. First of all, I never feel helpless for anything, ever. Because I always sit down there saying, you know what? I can put my pants on, I can put my clothes on and get up there and do something to solve the problem. All of us have that ability to do it. We do it in several different ways. Some of us are activists. We come out here, we do a radio show, we go out there, we write blogs, we go out there, we make sure that people are aware of what's going on to help them make a difference. You can also make a difference. Whether you're on the job and you think you don't have the time, how can you make a difference? You make a difference in many ways, including with your pocketbook. Progressives have a tendency to be a bit generous with the things that we need to provide and help, but sometimes a little less generous when we know we need to support policies or support organizations that are doing us right. So I'm asking you, to be a part of the solution. If you can't be out there stumping the streets with us, if you can't be out there informing your folks, writing blogs and all the other things, if you can't be on the radio, and by the way, one of the part of being a KPFT member is you can come in here and eventually start your own show. Think about that. But anyhow, 713-526-5738. Show that you care. Show that you're not just talking about I want a change in the country. Show that you're willing to invest in that change in the country. You have to be willing to put some skin in the game. All of us here are. I mean, we have Adrienne Bell Darnell Jones. They decide these are people that are working elsewhere. They're working outside, but they realize that we need a change. This is not financially advantageous for any one of us. We are out here doing what we know we have to do, not only for city, not only for county, not only for state, but for country. We are the real patriots.
So we can get to know our future representatives, that we can understand what their battle is, and so that we can get involved, find out how we can get involved. And that's a huge thing. I wouldn't know nearly as much about politics of the Houston area if it wasn't for shows like yours.
And that's what we do.
And it helps inspire people to get involved or understand how they can get involved.
Absolutely so. So, folks, give us a call, 713-526-5738. Before I get back to Adrienne and Darnell, I'd like to go back to Teresa. Teresa, please tell me you have something to tell me.
I have nothing new, unfortunately.
Oh, that's not good,
I hope
folks.
that means people are going to kpft.org, and we just haven't been told online pledges. Go to kpft.org, and it says donate there, and you can mark Politics Done Right. We have $450. Let's not get stuck. Everybody,
yes, we are.
Think about what you can contribute. Go onto Facebook and like it and share it so some other people are aware and they can call in.
Absolutely so, folks. 713-526-5738.
And I know y'all tune in each week and you call in and you want to participate. And we'll be back to our normal show where we're able to have that interaction again in a few weeks. But we need to hear from you now. We come to you when we are in need. And we know that we're able to have these conversations each week because we have this platform. Because people before you decided to do their part and get involved with their community radio station.
We simply could not do it without the people power. We really could not do it without people power. So we need you to call 713-526-5738. You know, many people sit back and they listen, and we're coming back with Adrienne and Darnell in a second, but let's remember this. Many of us sit back and believe that the other person is going to make that call. Mm-hmm. The other person is going to provide that support. The other person has to be you, because you know what? If everybody's saying that other person is going to take care of it, no, we all have to take responsibility of supporting our resources. And I tell you something, KPFT 90.1 FM Houston is the last resource, real progressive resource that you have out here in the Houston metropolitan area. It is the only one. So no matter what you think about us, if you and especially since it's the only one that is willing to give a voice to real progressives that are out there, a voice directly to the people. Think about that. We don't only give it on air, we give it on instant on Facebook Live, we give it on podcasts, we give it everywhere.
We're able to reach out to you and connect with you. And that's something special. I mean, it's interesting, these kind of talk shows that have that kind of interaction. We're able to plug you in and keep this conversation rolling.
Absolutely. Folks, 713-526-5738. I'm going back to our guests in 90 seconds, so that's all it takes to take a pledge. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 30 to 90 seconds. 713. You won't miss any of it because we're plugging until 3:40. 713-526-5738. Let me hear those phones ring. I don't hear them ringing.
So we're a little over 50% of the way to our goal. So we're not doing bad. But we can doing better.
Let me remind people that the service that Egberto is providing is invaluable. Just the possibility of being connected with like-minded people. So instead of a circular firing squad, you are focused. Your vision is focused. And we are featuring candidates that have a vision, and they're right there with the people trying to get information so they can better serve, to be truly public servants. So this is an invaluable service for everyone. And if you want to come Saturday night to see Charlie King, I will introduce you to some other like-minded people. Carpool over. It's a great bonding experience. So we want to connect you with your community. There are fewer and fewer opportunities these days, other than in churches, for you to actually meet people that have similar values. So, go on to Egberto's blog, interact, be empowered.
713-526-5738. Folks, we're going to be going back to the show in a little bit. 713-526-5738.
Or pledge online at kpft.org.
And don't we have a thing that they can pledge by
text message?
Yeah.
Texting KPFT to 41444.
414. Type KPFT or text KPFT to 41444.
And do you have to put a pound after that?
No.
Okay.
No pound.
41444. Okay.
But I'll take a pound cake.
That would be nice. Yeah.
Well, we have oatmeal cookies out here. We have quiche, and we have some wonderful food from Rudyard's Pub.
Oh, yes. We have a lot of food out there.
And from Bombay Pizza.
Oh,
So,
they did
you
a
know
great
what,
job
guys?
catering today,
That
so
means
thank you.
if you want to walk in here with a check, you can as well, and we'll give you some food for it as well.
That's correct. Hey, real quick, Egberto,
Yes.
just to point out something.
Yes.
A lot of people don't understand the brevity of having this information, especially from you two, where even at the smallest level, a lot of people don't remember that the Tea Party took over
Yes.
based off of the school boards.
Right.
So any little thing, it doesn't matter if it's your congressman, school board, everything. Pay attention, and that's what you have brought to KPFT and to this city. And I appreciate it, and I hope more people appreciate it by calling 713-526-5738.
That gives
Thank
me
you so kindly done.
goosebumps.
713. You remember those school board days
Yes.
and the wars that we did right here on KPFT when we were going through that? That was great. 713. Come on, folks. We need to hear from you. 713-526-5738.
That's 713-526-5738. That's KPFT. Don't forget.
Now, let me make my correction. I was mistaken. It's Rudyard's is providing lunch tomorrow.
Okay.
So we have Bombay Pizza here, and it is scrumptious,
Yes,
let me
it
tell
is.
you.
Thank you very much, Teresa. Okay, let's go. Adrienne, since we're talking money here,
Okay.
let's talk a little bit about money and campaigns.
Okay.
You notice we are trying to raise money here for making sure we can keep this progressive station alive.
Right.
And you all need, as new candidates, need monies to survive yourselves. How is that going, and how do you implore people to invest in what's best for their own well-being?
Okay. Well, one thing that we continually tell people with our campaigns is that we do not take corporate PAC money. We don't take special interest money. Darnell or myself, we will not be ruled by an oil and gas company. We take small dollar donations from the people. And therefore, when a few days ago, the FEC the quarterly report was due this past Sunday. And so we have been talking about this when people get that report and, oh, wow, Adrienne didn't raise six figures. And so now she's not a viable candidate. Will go through somebody's mind, which that is so far from the truth. Because one way to take corruption out of politics, which is money, is that we stop taking money from big corporations. So if you look at the person, my opponent, who raised $200,000 in 3 months with a hurricane going on, well, you wonder where'd all that money come from. It didn't come from the people.
Right.
It came from corporations.
Right.
And so therefore, to take money out of politics and the corruption, we've got to stop taking money from special interest groups.
At Coffee Party USA, that is one of our major issues, and that is taking money out of politics. And what we have to see is viable candidates win with a little bit of money. And my contention is that a non-viable candidate has already won with a very small amount of money, that being Donald J. Trump. Because I don't know if you've been following the news, where only $100,000 of social media money probably brought in 4 states for him.
Wow.
Think about that. $100,000 worth of Facebook ads likely were the tipping points for Pennsylvania, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Think about that. So I'm glad that you said what you said, Adrienne, in that 6 figures is not necessary to make one candidate viable.
Right.
What makes one candidate viable is their exposure in their community and the amount of enthusiasm that there is in the community, and they're not directly proportional.
Exactly.
They're not directly proportional. What do you have to say about as far as the income or rather fundraising for your type of campaign?
I say the same thing that Adrienne just said, and I reiterate that viability doesn't come with the price tag. It's just like everything else. Education shouldn't come with the price tag.
Right.
You shouldn't be limited to how much education you can get because of your zip code.
Absolutely.
Your medical care shouldn't be a result of how much money you have. All these things should be rights. So by getting out in front of the people and talking to them, and I tell people often, I don't have to have your money as long as I have your vote.
Absolutely.
And if I get that vote, and if I can get you to talk to other people and get their votes, then they don't have to give me a penny.
Right. It's much more important than money then. Okay, let's go to the core of the issues now. Both of you ran on under Brand New Congress. So give me a little explanation of what Brand New Congress is and how does it relate with, and maybe Adrienne, you can do that. How does it relate with Justice Democrats? And then what I'm going to want to ask you right after that is for you to both tell us what your platform is in a short and concise manner so that people know what they're looking at when they see Adrienne Bell, when they see Darnell.
Okay. Well, when Brand New Congress started, and we were, it's a post-partisan organization, and so it began to bring in Republicans and Democrats under the same progressive platform.
Right.
And so that was the difference. It's Democrats and Republicans running together on the same platform, the same agreement of what the issues and that the progressives and the people in America really want.
Right.
And so once we're part of Brand New Congress, we also have Justice Democrats and the Young Turks, which is the part that the Justice Democrats is Democrats. So therein was the difference. Brand New Congress had Republicans, Justice Democrats just had Democrats.
Right.
But now we have the candidates are running under the Justice Democrats brand. It includes the Republicans, but we're running now under the Justice Democrats brand. So when you see our advertising, and like Darnell, came in yesterday.
I saw that announcement, yes.
As a Justice Democrat, because now the new candidates are coming in under the Justice Democrat banner.
Now, tell me a little bit about, now that you've explained that so that the audience can understand who they're voting for and under what umbrella you're running, because I think in as much as maybe both of you are Democrats, you're running under this umbrella of a new kind of politician.
Progressives. We're all progressives.
Now, tell us a little bit. I love the platform as it was defined in Brand New Congress. So tell our audience in a short form what it is about you and the platform that you intend to make their lives better.
So with our platform, again, it is about bringing the power of politics back to the people.
Okay, let me stop you right there, because that's not what I want. That's not what I want. Okay. What I want in a Rykoff manner to tell in a bread and butter manner to the person who's just there in their home. What are you going to do for them? You see, because politicians come out and say all the time, "Oh, I'm going to make life better for you, XYZ." Bread and butter. Tell me what you're going to do for them.
I will fight against anything that takes a woman's rights away from her.
And what is anything?
Any legislation, any types of, if somebody tries to tell a woman she cannot go to Planned Parenthood, I will tell them that I will not allow that.
What else are you going to do for them?
I will make sure that people have not just access, but people actually have health care. I'm looking at Medicare for all, which is what I believe in.
Exactly.
It works. It's proven. So we should go with it for everyone. It takes a lot of the cronyism
supposedly, and it's not true, but supposedly it costs a lot of money. How are you going to convince that person that has been indoctrinated by the system that somehow you can provide that and it's not some pie in the sky dream? How are you going to tell them that that's better for them?
Well, being a retired naval officer, I can tell you that $700 billion in military spending is something that is probably unnecessary, but we're talking about we can't afford something that takes care of everyone. So that I think sensibly, and I think with common sense. So common sense in politics is exactly what we need. We need to stop lying to the people, and that's the problem.
I love that. Adrienne.
One thing that I want to bring, I'm a huge supporter of small businesses, and I want to be able to provide small businesses federal grants in our areas. And I'm going to use an example like Beaumont, Port Arthur have like 11-12% unemployment.
Right.
And as I say, at the end of the day, we just want to be able to take care of our family. So I want to be able to not only just take care of your family, but to help you succeed. And so not everyone is going to go to college. I believe in going to school. I've been going to school, seems like most of my life.
Right.
And so college should be affordable. We don't like to use the term free college because everything can't be free.
It's pay it forward college.
Yes, because we've got to have an educated society. So we need education for industrial jobs. The area that I serve has 5 ports. It has the most ports than any district in America. So everything centers around our port cities and to revitalize those port cities. Several of those cities have dilapidation going on. They're bleak. And so I want to go to Port Arthur, help Port Arthur get federal money to redo their downtown area, bring in jobs to that area, train people there in those jobs so that they can get those industrial jobs, they can get those good jobs. But we need to support our veterans. But they need medical care where they don't have to come to Houston to come to the VA hospital. They could get help in Beaumont. They could get help out in Galveston.
Those are specifics, and that's what I'm talking about. You see, a lot of folks on the right now, because they don't their policies don't really support what both of you have been speaking about. They have to speak in generalities. I think a lot of times we are those that are progressives get co-opted into speaking in those generalities as well, as opposed to look into their individual district and say, hey, in your area where there's this problem here, and I love to see that you scoured your districts. You know that there are 5 ports in your district. You know what you have to do in your district to actually move it forward. Darnell, you know your district. You know the areas of your districts that are in disrepair and that need actions. Those people in those districts will vote for those who they think are going to make their lives better materially, not necessarily quickly, but in due time.
Yes.
So I think that is what's very important about your candidacy, and I hope that as you're going forward with your candidacy that you spell that out and not get co-opted into what the establishment, including the Democratic establishment, will do as far as speaking in generalities, because the realities mean that we become a hell of a lot more progressive in the way we spend our monies, less military, less programs that support us all.
Can I add? I want to add one thing.
Please do.
One of the reasons that is so great that we're running together under the same platform is that when we get to Congress, we're already going as a unified body.
Right.
So we already support Medicare for all. Therefore, you will have candidates that will push that legislation.
And, you know, with the state of the healthcare debate right now, I don't know if even the compromises are coming out, are slowly coming very close to Medicare for all. Dropping Medicare to 55 is nothing more than saying dropping Medicare to 45 and then 35, and eventually guess what happens?
Right.
We have coverage. So I think what you guys are, first of all, your candidacy gives me hope. And I can tell you one other thing. When the time is right, it is important for you guys to just go out there and do it. And from what I'm seeing, you're doing it. I'm going to ask both of you for a closure, a minute closure in after we do some pitching. So kind of think ahead of something you'd like to say in about 45 seconds each, okay?
All right.
All right, folks, let's go. 713-526-5738. Again, that number, slower, 713-526-5738. Teresa, please tell me you have something to tell me.
I have one pledge.
Yes.
From Jimmy Pate. Jimmy Pate.
Thank you, Jimmy.
So he is a new contributor.
Oh,
for
I love new contributors. I like all my contributors, but the new ones tell me that we're expanding our base.
Yes. And so he gave a very generous contribution. It's gotten us a little bit further, but we have still some ground to make up for. So 713-526-5738. That's the way to
People
give
wait till
to
the last
KPFT.
minute. How about if we try to get maybe 3 calls in within the last 7 minutes of this program?
Please do.
If you've never donated to KPFT before, give it some thought as to whether it's a value in your life and whether maybe you can just afford maybe $2, $3 a month, $10 a month, $120.
Let me give this pitch here, folks. Let me give a pitch here, and it goes as follows. Look, we have $200 sitting on the sideline if we get to 750.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. If we get to 750, we have $200 sitting on the
And
sideline.
you know what? We only are about $230 away from that 750 mark.
So, folks, I know we have somebody out there who can buy another jump drive, or somebody out there who can call in right now. Even if you have $40, $25,
Become a member.
become a member. Just for $25, become a member. $40, become a voting member. Come on in at $120 and pay it over time. Get our book, Class Warfare: The Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom. I promise you, if you read that book, you will feel empowered, and you're going to be out there doing the same thing all of us are doing here to make this a better place.
And
So
would you sign the copy?
I will definitely sign the
All
copy.
right.
I
See?
will sign
We
the
have 4
copy.
people at the phones. We could really light them all up.
Look.
Everybody, just give it some thought.
Think about it. The phones
Dial.
are empty. It's empty, so you'll get taken care of right away. There's no
713-526-5738.
713-526-5738. Let me hear those phones ring. I don't hear anything ringing, folks. Let me hear your call, and we'll address you on air right away. 713-526-5738. You can do it.
Only a few minutes left to close out this hour. We
We-
want to do it strong.
713-526-5738. I know, look, we tell folks that we want to change. We tell folks that we want to make a difference. If you are able to, I know there are people that are listening that simply are not able to provide a contribution. I know that. But there are many of you listening right now as well that can. And if you can, remember, this is when you're calling into our show, you're not supporting Egberto, you're supporting KPFT. That is who you're supporting. You're supporting Progressive Radio on air. You're supporting the only progressive station left on air, period. So give us a call at 713-526-5738. I'm going to get a 45-second closer from each of our guests right here, and then I'm going to come back and do a quick pitch. Adrienne, please.
Wow. I want to give a picture. Well, I really think that this is so needed because I grew up when the American dream was real, and I want to return that to the people that I seek to serve. I am not a politician. I'm a second grade school teacher seeking to serve the people of District 14 and all of America. I think it is time for Medicare for all, for women's right, for public education to stay strong. So you will have that with me in a candidate.
Thank you very much, Adrienne. Darnell.
I want to say to the citizens of District 2, you have no worries with regard to having someone who will stand up for you. I've heard the issues of your concern. I know that transportation and infrastructure are problems, especially with the district being so widespread and gerrymandered. I know that we need to find a way to fix the problems that caused us in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. So we need to work on that, and I will advocate for federal funding to make sure that we get those things taken care of, and I won't deny federal funding as our last congressman did.
Thank you so kindly, Darnell. Folks, 713-526-5738. I want to thank my 2 great guests. I'm definitely going to have you where we can speak continuously without pitching at some other time. I promise you that before your election, okay? Now, folks, please give us a call, 713-526-5738. Did I hear a phone ring?
You heard 2 phones ringing. We still have 2 people out there sitting down, not picking up the phone, folks. So you can still get through.
You can get in right now. We have
526-5738.
713-526-5738. I'm going to forego the closer of our show so we can stay on air and raise. 713-526-5738. I love my guests. Y'all do it completely for me.
713-526-5738.
Folks, come on, give us a call now. We can do it. Are there any other phones available now?
We have 2 phones available right now.
Come
and
on.
Actually, if another person calls in, it would roll over. So we're going to make sure the phones get answered. Let me just call something to people's attention.
15 seconds, Teresa.
I know that on the state
We'll have
level,
to wrap up really soon to make
several
way.
people filibustered when they wanted to cut so much money from education, I guess about 5 or 6 years ago, and they took money from education. And when I pass by elementary schools, I might see 40 cars sitting there.
Teresa, have a heartbreak.
40 cars sitting there picking kids up because you can't catch a school bus.
All right.
So that's taking money from people's pockets. We have government for a reason and to provide services to people.
Thank you, Teresa.
And we have candidates that want to help. So
Absolutely. 713-526-5738. 713-845-5738. Teresa, we need all of that now. Are there anybody to thank real quickly? I mean, like in 15 seconds.
No, do not have any specific names right now.
But they're taking taking calls right now?
Yes, we have 2 people on the line, but I still think we're short of the goal, so I encourage 1 or 2 people. Call in.
Come on, call
713-526-5738, 713-526-KPFT, or pledge online at kpft.org.
Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. My name is Egberto Willies. I want to thank Darnell Jones and Adrienne Bell for being with us, and we are out.
Thank you very much for listening to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. You can personally reach me by sending an email to egberto@politicsdoneright.com. Remember, Egberto is spelled E-G-B-E-R-T-O. Change starts with you. 90.1 KPFT gives you information not tainted by corporate interest. Please visit kpft.org and contribute. Let's ensure continued access to real information and news remain available to all. Again, thank you very much for listening to Politics Done Right.